Welcome back to Stasis Geek. Now, I'm going to get my little bit of geek on because it's a show I absolutely love. Outlander. And Season 7, mid-season break is here. I'm just going to give my kind of thoughts on it. Now, I'm, maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing, but I'm behind on the books because I started with the show first. So, bear with me. I might, oh no, that doesn't happen in the books, or that's the way it was supposed to be, because I'm behind. Yeah, and I purposely did that. Because, yeah, I started with the TV series first. But we're episode 8 now, mid-season, and my thoughts. Now, every episode is an 8+. Maybe because I love the characters, but I still think they're really good. I have one criticism, and it's probably criticism episode 1 to 4, and then 4 to 8. That's the condense. It's all been condensed. 1 to 4 possibly should have been 8-10 episodes. It feels like that is at least half a season, a big half season, or a full season by itself. Because it's all condensed. It's all put together, and the pacing is completely different from what we previously had in the 6 seasons. So, do I like it? Yes, I do. But it's like they're moving on with the story too quickly. We're like concentrating on this, the Ridge and Christie's, and then we move on. Then we move on. Then we move on. So it's not hard to watch. It's just, oh, I thought you were going to explain it like they've done in the past. Maybe it's because we're wrapping up. Yeah, one more season. Yeah, that's it. We're done. But when you kind of look at the pacing, are they going too quickly and they're going to spoil the seasons? Maybe, maybe not. Because my brain just can't work out where they're going to end. Because the books and all that are still moving forward. So where we are in the timeline and what's coming forward, it's like they're going to have to really condense everything if they're going to catch up with the books. Or maybe they're going to leave it open. But this 1 to 4, it felt a bit rushed. Yeah, because if you just go by the Christie's and the Ridge, that's been rushed. Then you have the Roger and Brianna story on the side. Spoiler free. But that's separate. So them two a bit intertwined. Yeah, and then you go into Singapore. So then you have the Singapore element is kind of the Jamie's involvements and Claire's involvements with the Revolutionary War. So then you have the next ones kind of turning with that, with the Bree and Roger story still running parallel. And it's just that. What do you want us to see? Whereas previously they would have a full episode concentrated, but we're having this parallel kind of tug of war situation. It's the best way to do it. So it's a bit of a shame because those, maybe it is me being greedy, but those 1 to 4 should have been 1 to 8 mid-season. And it felt like where they've stopped it in episode 8 should have been episode, let's say, 16. Because it's just like they're just skipping a little bit of the story. The kind of the narrative that they want to kind of push through onto the next chapter. And I don't know if it's a pacing, it's a new script, or they're going, look, we need to get all this into this. And they've literally skipped because some of the interesting storylines just seem to be rushed. You know, the Christie, yeah, was really, oh, it's then we're done. Yeah, we're moving on. And then we got the Quakers set. Oh, no, that's moving on. We got William, you know, and then moving on. And it's, yeah, it's just a bit, I think, you know, with the Roger and Brianna, it's kind of like, well, you would have previously at least had one dedicated episode. Real dedication, literally. And it's not that. We're still jumping. So that's a bit odd. It's where we're going to go. I don't know where. Spoilers. Move along if you haven't seen it. Them now going to Scotland in episode 8. Ooh, that was a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that because now headcanon, my head, what I've seen is like, well, then are they going, because how the pacing is, are they going to go straight there, find out the kidnapping story, and then that's back into America, and then they've got to go back straight away, or they're going to stay in Scotland for a bit. Because if they were going to stay just the time thing, even with the crossing overs, that's been done like that. So it's just again a bit, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm loving the episodes, but I wanted more story, because you're having to kind of go, ooh, what's going to happen there? So it's a bit of a shame. Maybe it's just me being greedy. Those who have read the book, let us know, is that the pacing in the book, or is there loads of gaps missing? Because there are really interesting characters that have been put, and then they've gone, move on. And it's just like, oh, I wanted to know more about that. You know, previously, like with Benedict Arnold, they would have kind of really pushed that kind of like storyline, and it was really moved on really quickly. So that's a shame. You know, Jamie and his cousin bit, I like that. That was good. But yeah, it just didn't. It felt like it didn't have the previous impact of previous seasons, and this is where it might be. I'm just being greedy. But again, he just moved on straight to them doing the crossing, and the crossing, what was it, 2 minutes? And I know they don't want to go much on it, but they could have had a little bit more, you know, about on the ship and all that. And then yeah, so we got the next. I'm guessing we're in Scotland. What's going to happen? I really hope they play on being back in Scotland, and they don't just go boom. Or maybe they, you know, the kidnapping and all that through the stones, Roger and all that meet up, and they're still in Scotland. Don't know. So this is going to be interesting to find out what actually, how they progress the story, because I think the story is going nicely. It's just I don't want it rushed, because we got to go back. I'm guessing, you know, not caught up with the books, remember? So yeah, it's just my thoughts. Loving the season, but missing snippets of it. That's why previous seasons you would have got 9s, boom, boom, out of me. You know, this one is 8s solid. You know, maybe a couple might have been 7.5, maybe pushing down a little bit, just because again that pacing issue. You know, but the best character so far, and the most interesting, this is the problem, is Ian. This season, I'm loving Ian. That's it. So that, yeah, there's like Claire and Jamie. I just want that back into development. You know, it's been a while since they've been proper together. I know the years, that's what I'm saying. We're seeing the years move apart, move on, but we're not seeing the story move on with it. So that's the problem. But yeah, give us your comments, especially if you read the books. It'd be quite interesting to know this is the pacing in the books. It jumps a lot. Or otherwise, you're kind of like me. You're like, oh, I wish they could just expand it. Things like what we got on this one. This is a 16 episode season. So we got another 8. But it felt this could have been 24. You know, could have been easily hitting over 20. Easily. This could have had easy another 4 episodes. If that 1 to 4 was 1 to 6, it still would have, I think it still would have felt tight, but it felt really in a can at this moment. But yeah, give us your comments if you want to comment, as always, and give us a like if you want to like. As always, Stasis Geek out.